Hey, what's up everybody? We are back with a slightly different character this time. Ready to go check out the Far Harbor DLC. Need to listen to the Valentine radio broadcast.
This is Ellie Perkins from Valentine's Detective Agency with a message for Nick's partner. We've got a new case and it sounds urgent.
Hey, see that big blimp?
Stop by the office. I'll be
the
waiting.
Brotherhood of Steel?
Setting this to repeat.
I not only like the way this DLC started,
Ellie Perkins from
but I have to say I am pleasantly surprised with all the DLC so far. Not just the stuff that we get to build with, but the Automatron DLC with the Magnus, that was much better than I thought it would be.
I'm glad you're here. We got a new case while you and Nick were out. Ready to put on the detective hat?
Tell me more.
Our client is a fisherman who lives on the edge of the Commonwealth, Kenji Nakano.
Nakano? Huh. That name takes me back. My memory's a little fuzzy on the details, though.
Maybe if you bothered writing things down, Nick.
Can't do that. Wouldn't want to put you out of a job.
Huh. I'll remember that the next time you need me to console a hysterical client. Mr. Nakano didn't leave many details. Said he'd go over everything when you meet him. But if you want my guess, missing person case. Guy had a worried look a mile long.
Anything you can tell me about Kenji Nakano?
Just some impressions. He was obviously upset, but he was also in a hurry, like he couldn't stand just waiting around. I'm a friend of Nick's. He'll remember me. I need his help right away. And then he was gone. He was muttering something on the way out, but no. I'm not sure it was important.
Come on, Ellie. Don't hold out on me. What did he say?
Well, I thought I heard him say something about a daughter and also a radio, but I might have misheard him. Not sure how the two would be connected.
I'll go check it out. Thanks, Ellie.
The Nakano residence is up in the northeast, near the coast. A small fishing house. He said that he and his wife will be waiting for you.
It's a long walk. That's how the hard cases always start.
Long walk. Hard case, huh? Alright. So it begins. I'm actually looking forward to this. Like I say, if the Automatron DLC is any hint at what I can expect, then I'm actually really going to like this. And that says a lot for a game that, let me down in a lot of ways. I feel cheated on or something. By Fallout 4, so this would be nice. I'm still playing it, though. It does say something. I am still playing it. Now, this character I have done a lot with, thus the delay in getting these first videos out to you. I went off basically doing some trophy hunting. I got all the bobbleheads, killed all the behemoths. What else? Got the benevolent leader trophy. In fact, I even put a video up on the settlement that I made for that, which has some pretty cool settlements, I thought. In fact, somebody had even asked maybe to do some videos on, how I build the settlements, and I'm like, I never considered my settlements up there with some of the guys who do the big stuff, But I probably will. I plan on playing actually another character and getting some of these storyline achievements squared away. In fact, once I'm done with Far Harbor here, I'll probably carry out the main story and follow, maybe go do some Brotherhood of Steel stuff, because that's not the way I would like to go, but if there's any achievements for working with them, then I'll probably just go knock those out, and then start another character and play through, actually do what I call a canon run, which is where I, make all the decisions I would make in the game. What I'd call the perfect playthrough, or whatever, where I've got a build that I'm settled on and all that stuff. Speaking of the Brotherhood of Steel, one good part of being with them, if there is such a thing, is the ability to do something like fast travel. Taking these vertibird rides, I actually look forward to these. I enjoy this. This is a good part of the game. Getting up there in the skies on your minigun and just doing your thing. So I may or may not take a trip even when I don't need to. Even if I just have to go across the river, I might call a vertibird just to get up in the air. I might. Anyway, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to one of my settlements where I know the armor dealer. I think it's Lucas Miller, I think. Anyway, I need to catch up with him. There is actually a leather armor piece that I really want of his, and when I started the game, it was like almost 15,000 caps. It's probably gone down a little bit because I've found some, you know, books on getting a little bit of a deal with merchants. The Tales of a, what is it, Junktown Jerky Vendor or whatever. Anyway, I found a couple of those. So I'm hoping it's more along the lines of the 12 or 13,000 range or something. Anyway, I have just enough money for it. And I've always wanted that piece of armor. Gives you perception and agility, and it's considered a heavy leather leg piece, and it fits right into what I'm doing. There are some other armor pieces that I would have liked to have found. I think one's the Cavalier, which is where you take even less damage when sprinting, which is, you know, I have points invested into that in my special tree. This build here, and I will do a video on this build also. I want to get a little bit more footage of messing around, both in and out of vats. But it's a kind of a play on my run and gun build. I would call this the gun fu build, or maybe the professional. Be like water, I don't know what you might call it, but it's essentially the same thing as what I was doing with automatic weapons, except with just a pistol. And I mean 99.9% just a pistol. I have a melee backup weapon, Pikmin's Blade, which is kind of a stealth knife. Very cool. You know, that fits the build anyway. But primarily it's getting a lot of extra shots with a pistol and just going with it. I did a build that was pretty much like this anyway. But this one primarily leans on gun fu as being the one perk that I kind of built it around, and it's getting a lot of shots off in vats and getting those extra criticals on your third and fourth consecutive targets or whatever. And considering you get so many shots off in vats, especially with the deliverer, the vats cost is so low. It's not ideal in terms of maybe. Well, I don't know. I would say it's not ideal in terms of the damage, but it kind of is, because really the deliverer, the one you get with the railroad, its damage is so much higher than a regular 10mm. It's almost like having an instigating weapon all the time anyway. And the damage is right around 100 or higher, and I think the top damage for a 10mm pistol, once you have everything maxed out, is right around 60 something. So it's almost double damage anyway. You only get 16 shots in the round, so if you want to pull off all your shots, you can with a full AP meter. You can not only get off all your shots, but when you're done, you'll have basically enough AP bar left, depending on how you build your character, for another full series of shots. Like the full clip, like full 16. It's crazy. 10mm, I can get off about 13 shots. And if I had an instigating 10mm, it would be effective also.
I'm bringing her in. Hang on to something.
Anyway, I'll talk about it. Show what I did. It's slightly different. I would say that this is probably the most effective one that I've played so far, and it's been the most fun. I'm running with the deliverer now just for the sake of the video. I probably, to challenge myself a little bit, I'd probably lean more towards a 10mm I find in the game. In fact, I haven't been playing with this gun up until this point, so I'm actually not really comfortable with it. I've been running with just a simple 10mm the entire game, and have had basically no problems. Anyway, I found Lucas Miller. He always comes to the settlement. Every other time I come here, he's here, so I figured he'd show up, and he did. And this is what I was looking for. Mantis Left Greave. And looks like I have a little bit of money left over, which is fine. I don't have any other use for it. I have bought so much concrete and junk like that, and I think I have like 2,000 units of concrete right now left. That's after all my settlements and stuff. I could go to essentially every settlement and build in the game and build a castle. And you know, I'm probably gonna do a playthrough where I do something like that.
My back hurts, my feet hurts, everything hurts.
Let me go ahead and switch out my stuff. I don't even have to make it for this stuff. Just transfer stuff from one item back over to the other. Yeah, the one that I was using was an auto stim, and what that was is an auto thirst greave. That's all it was, auto thirst. If you do get low on health, you're probably going to die anyway on survival, but it would just stim you and make you thirsty. The stim doesn't take it takes like 2 minutes for a stim to heal you anyway. So maybe on a different difficulty setting that would be a convenience, but yeah, not on this one. For lack of anything
Lucas.
better, I was using it.
Rates if you're in the market.
I'll take a look.
Let
Sure.
me see.
What you see is what you
I just give him 12,000 caps. What will he give me for my greave? 24 caps. Awesome. What a deal. Oh, cheap bastard. All right. Yeah, I really like this settlement. 10 Pines Bluff. Didn't do a lot with it, but it's secure. Oh, and this settlement gets attacked more than any other. The only one that gets attacked close to this one, in my experience, is the Sunshine Tidings co-op. Because every time I've showed up at Sunshine Tidings, it's getting attacked by super mutants coming from, I think, the eastern side of it. And then it actually gets raided. Oh, I want to say all the time. I don't know how often specifically. Never put a clock on it, but for every other settlement that got raided all put together, that's how many times Sunshine Tidings co-op has been raided. And I guess I could say the same for 10 Pines Bluff too. Same way, as it just gets raided all the time. So having that one way in and one way out, that's just for Lucas Miller and his stupid cow, honestly. Is they like to hang out there on the campfire. I may one day just build around the shack that they've got there, a much, much smaller settlement, and then leave the farm outside the walls and let Lucas Miller and them roll up and hang out outside. Move the settlement over a little bit. Instead of building it behind the shack, build it in front of the shack and let the shack be part of the inside compound. Although the workers are going to get caught outside the fence all the time, if that's the case, I would guess. I don't know, but, you know, if they don't have the sense to go inside the walls and defend from inside, then it's kind of like their fault. I think one way around that is to put up some of those security defense things. Those little stations that you put up. Maybe put up some of those inside the walls so that if anybody attacks, they'll run in there and man them. I know you can assign workers to that, but they can't be assigned to just that, though, so I don't know. Automatic crits on the fourth target and beyond. And so if you get 16 shots, that means that you can pull off 3 or 4 shots on your first few targets, and your last target is guaranteed crit. Or if you've got 8 or 10 targets, you put off... If you got 8 targets, you can put off 2 shots on each target. The 4th through the 8 are all going to get automatic criticals.
Disappearing act, huh?
So there's actually something of a game in that pick your targets. Figure out which ones are the biggest threat and save them for last on your VATS selection. To be honest, I haven't run with VATS a lot here. I really haven't. Gunfu is in play for mobs, and mobs are about the only time you get in trouble in the game. If they're all focused on you and they're all doing their thing, problem is if they're all focused on you anyway, your damage goes way down. If they know you're there, it's the difference between one-shotting somebody and hitting them to where it barely even nicks their armor. Like you get all confident and go up to a raider like you're just going to kick his ass. If he knows you're there, you put a full clip into him and he's still at 3/4 health, especially like those raiders survivalists or scavers, you know? Yeah, they will come and one-shot you sometimes, depending on what they're using. So, still got to be careful a little bit. This has made the game somewhat fun for me, honestly. And that really just kind of says it all. Like I said, this is how I've been mostly playing. For the most part. And it's been a lot of fun. Sure enough, I'm not just dropping tons of lead. Which I like to do also. Alright, these guys are moving around. It looks like we got the Brotherhood in here to help too. Which usually they're not a help. Usually they go get themselves killed and they drop their vertibird right on your head. And wind up killing you instead. Oh, sorry, dog meat. Still didn't get him? Damn. So if that legendary dropped something good.
Bingo.
Well, nothing I'm going to use. I think that's one of the new guns that came with Far Harbor. Not sure which items came with which DLC. There's lots of new stuff. Not just new stuff to build with, but new items in-game. Like the Gamma gun, I believe, is new. I've had those drop quite a bit. Found these Children of Adam using them all the time. Instead of just doing straight damage to you, they do radiation damage, and they replace your health with radiation. Yeah, thanks for that. On survival, that can be really annoying. Harpoon guns. Well, what do we got here? Well, I've already killed enough of these guys for the trophy, but if I hadn't, then I would be finding one here. Let's go ahead and experiment a little bit. I've got low chance to hit all these different spots, but if you're ever curious on if that gun fu bonus for the 4th target and beyond, damn, I can't hit this dude at all, can I? But if I do hit him, it makes it count. Holy crap. Yeah, if you're wondering if the 4th and so on target counts on a big target like this, it doesn't. I was kind of curious of that myself. I'm like, so what if you shoot one arm, then the other arm, then the leg, and then the other leg? By the time you get to the second leg, does it start giving you automatic criticals? No. Nope, not even on the behemoths. Worth a try. I really had death claws in mind for that one. Start getting criticals on their feet so they can't chase you so fast. Get to running from a death claw and see if you get away. It's possible, but yeah, not likely. Oh, let's stop and thank Brandis for the donation for this really, really cool black Brotherhood of Steel officer's ninja suit that I really, really, really like. It's the best looking piece of gear I found in the game for my character. And this is the only way we can save, so let's go ahead and keep our progress here. There's one thing I am worried about a little bit, is there being beds in Far Harbor. So there's going to be some. Hopefully there's a lot of them. For some reason, Point Lookout comes to mind when I think of Far Harbor. That was a good DLC in Fallout 3, in my opinion. It was a good DLC to do once. It was big. If you're going to do everything there, it was a large area. There was stuff to do. It was a bit empty. It had a bit of a New Vegas feel to me, in terms of sometimes there were long stretches of going from point A to point B. Oh, we got another giant monster. Oh, nice. And the only thing that would break up a lot of travel between spots was, the random fights with maybe some inbred hillbillies or something like that. But other than that, sometimes there was quite a bit of just open area. It had a creepy feel to it. They kept the tone consistent throughout the DLC. It was, holy shit, she's taking some damage. Yeah, these bitches are tougher than the behemoths. Much, much tougher. Oh, these nasty cockroach things. It was a very lonely DLC. Just kind of sad and lonely feel. That's the only, I don't know, a bit depressing even, which says a lot. I mean, that's actually a good thing in a way, because post-apocalypse, that's how it would be. Some backwater resort that, you know, once the world's been destroyed, what would that matter? Well, it really wouldn't, you know. It would just basically be some backwater forgotten place, all irradiated and just rotting in the post-nuclear decay and stuff. I mean, it was cool like that. I'm kind of hoping for a bit of that here, but maybe with a bit more to do. Like I say, the Point Lookout was a bit empty. Now I remember on my original playthrough of this game, I was hoping that this was a settlement. That friggin' tower. Oh, imagine with the cement pieces that you have now, that could be built on. I don't. Maybe it somewhere along the line with one of the factions or with the Minutemen or something. Maybe that does become a settlement. I have never played it out that far. Maybe I need to try that. All right, so now we're gonna finish up this long walk, as Nick put it. He was not exaggerating. We literally have to go basically to the edge of the map. I did plan out what I was calling my canon character or whatever, based on what I've seen this time, hoping for some more loot drops or some better loot drops. You know, not so much of the you know, instigating batons and jacked up pipe wrenches and all this crap that I've been picking up. You know, and I've been finding the ideal pieces like reduction in VATS cost. Less damage while sprinting, but it'll always be a metal leg or a synth piece. Lots of synth armor. I can't stand the way that crap looks. It likes you're a wannabe futuristic football player or something. I hate that armor. Hate it. But, if I would have got some of those drops in basic leather gear, I mean, that's my fault, because I'm looking for a particular weapon. I was looking for specifically a 10mm and nothing but. And I was looking for specific armor pieces, leather only and nothing but. That's my fault. When you're going to limit, you know, the range and scope of what you're looking for to just that, well, then, you know, odds of you finding it are cut down a lot. I get it. I get it. I wonder if I could play a character through the game
Like
and
you could use a little
get those ideal pieces,
right?
get all the ideal gear.
Let's see what you got.
Exactly what you need.
I would buy this Grieve again. I would just save my pennies for that. That would be my one dream item type of thing. I like the chest piece you get from the lady in Diamond City, which is very similar, but it already has the biocom mesh in there, which makes your chems last longer. I think that's great. I love that. It's a heavy chest piece. It works. It's just fine. It comes basically set. I don't remember if I need to make it shadowed or not. It seems like I may have to put a shadowed thing on it. But, and other than the one armor upgrade for sleek armor, which is the only reason I would get tier 4 armor, there's armor out there that increases your movement speed, and I'm like, you know what? That would save me 4 points. Literally 4 points in armor, because I find enough shadowed leather laying around where I don't need to make it. The only things that I really do like having at my convenience is the ability to make a couple pieces ultralight, to make some pieces deep pocketed. That's essentially what I usually do. I have one, you know, if I have all 4 points in there, I'll make a sleek piece, one sleek piece where you move somewhat faster in stealth. And I think that only applies to the leg pieces anyway. It doesn't apply to your arms or chest or anything else. We got a glowing one out there on an island. Not anymore. Yeah, I'll get one of my leggings as sleek. I don't know if that stacks. I think somebody told me it did. Maybe Justin told me it did. Anyway, So could possibly make 2 of those. Get some pieces deep pocketed. Maybe one piece with an AP bonus. Although that doesn't seem quite as important as I thought it once did. But I was thinking about saving all those points altogether. I'd always kind of been a toss-up on whether to put those points in that. It's not like I've suffered because of it. It's not like I haven't been able to put points in other stuff that I want. I mean, I just it's too much of a convenience perk, it seems. I prefer to use my perks for doing more damage and taking less damage. Pretty much. Carry weight and extra XP and extra skill point and stuff like that. Never been a fan of using points on any of that in Fallout games. I don't think it's necessary. I think it balances out the game more when you don't use that.
Damn it! Come in! I know you're listening on the other end. Where is she? Where is my daughter?
Kenji, please. You've been at this for hours. Stop. You need sleep.
She's out there, Ray. Someone has her. They could be raiders, or gunners, or God knows what else.
I think Ellie was right. Sounds like a missing persons case to me. Being the detective that I am now, putting on my sleuth cap, I'm going to go ahead and look around a little bit. See if we can't pick up any clues before we even talk to anybody. Huh, already. Yes. Fine display of my investigative prowess there. Now I'm wondering if maybe, just maybe, I might find something when I get to Far Harbor that I can actually use. If I don't, maybe want to have some materials under my belt. I don't know if there's going to be lodging there. I mean, I'm sure there's going to be some kind of motel or some kind of bed you can rent or something. I mean, there always is. But I don't know if there's, are there going to be settlements that you could build there? And if you did, how the hell, I mean, you couldn't build a supply chain to that, could you? Or do you eventually incorporate Far Harbor into the Commonwealth? As part of the, oh, never mind. I'm just sitting here thinking out loud. I guess we'll find out when we get there. But anyway, will there be any place to store stuff? And if so, will I have access to any of my other stuff? And boy, I'd hate to be the
Who are you?
the caravan worker that has to supply Far Harbor from wherever he Set one of your guys up from Sanctuary.
I'm with Valentine's detective agency. You asked for help?
Oh, thank God. You have to get working right away.
So, what's the story with you and Nick?
Ran with him on one of his cases a few years back, searching for some sort of lost heirloom. He needed a boat. Things didn't end well. Nick's client double-crossed us once we had what he was looking for. I still have some lead lodged into my hip. But we got out. And now, my daughter's missing, and there's only one detective agency I know of in the Commonwealth.
I'm here to help. Tell me what happened.
It's all thanks to this damn radio.
Our daughter Kasumi likes to fix things. The radio was her latest project.
Until she made contact with some kidnapper who lured her away from us.
Or maybe she left on her own. She's not a child anymore. Our daughter is 19. She knows how to survive, and she's capable. I think maybe she left because she wanted her own life.
No, she would have told us where she was going. She would have said something. I know my daughter is in danger. I can feel it. Find her, please.
I'll find her. Don't you worry.
Thank you. Her room is upstairs if that helps. And if you had any more questions about her, just ask.
Well, if the parents are overprotective and suffocating, odds are she probably wouldn't have told you where she was going. Once especially a teenager, gets it in their head to go live their own life, quote unquote, usually just wanting the freedom of not having to answer anybody without being aware of all the things that go with that, the responsibility that go with thinking and living for yourself, is taking care of yourself, and all that, well, that's usually a real slap in the face, but I don't know. Some kids are ready for it, huh? Go out and do just fine. When they say they're ready to go, they actually are. Depends on what kind of head a kid's got on their shoulders. Are they the dreamy type, or are they the down-to-earth? Everybody's different, whether you're 16 or 66. See if we can get any clues here.
Project Log, Radiation King Television. Mom says these things actually used to broadcast pictures and sounds back before the war. She also mentioned that some of the ruins of the television studios are still around if you head to the city. Of course, she wasn't too happy when I asked if we could make a trip out there. I'm getting off track. I managed to repair the vacuum tubes and got the power working again, but, well, it's not like there's any working signal for this thing to receive. I'm just going to start stripping this thing for parts moving forward.
The parents have seen the horrors of the wasteland and do not want their daughter to get any taste of that.
Project Log?
Yep.
Radio. Correction. Working radio. I'll finally get some news outside this house. My handle is going to be... let's go with... Ohm's Law. That should confuse the creeps. And if someone actually gets the reference, then we'll at least have circuitry in common. Project Log, lamp. Yep, it's a lamp. Filament plus power equals light. I swear, sometimes I think my parents break these things just to keep me busy. Project Log, kitchen mixer. The circuits are still good, but all the mechanical parts are rusted through. Maybe I can...
All right, everyone. I'll be back in a few days. Was there anything else we needed from the city?
Wait, you're going now? No! Wait, Dad, I could come with you.
It is better if I go alone, Kasumi. Do not worry. I have your list.
You don't know what half that list is, Dad. I can help you. Really, I'll be...
I said no. I'm sorry. You're safe here, okay? Just stay put for me.
Okay.
I know you're disappointed, but I won't be long. I love you.
I love you too, Dad.
Yeah, you can't jail somebody with kindness, though. Gotta loosen those apron strings a little. Nah.
Hello? Testing? Project Log. Holotape player. Managed to strip out the parts from this thing and make something that's easier to move around. Granddad always said you need to make a record when you start something. You know, in case you have to go back to it. So, I guess I'm going to start doing that. Maybe I should start with an inventory of all the parts I found?
Kasumi, your father needs help with the boat.
I'll be right there. Oh, damn. Was I recording that? Project Log? Myself. I never really thought about who or what I am, but... God. Where do I start? The radio. I was right about the range. I managed to get a signal, a strong signal, from up north. There's a group of people up there. They say they're all synths. Synthetic people. Made by the Institute. They're trying to build a place for their kind, where they can be themselves and be accepted for what they are alongside human beings. It sounds wonderful, but then they started asking about me, and some questions came up. Questions I don't have answers to. I mean, I've always felt off, like I'm not really supposed to be here, but then there are things in my childhood I can't remember, and I've been having strange dreams. I'm going to go. To meet these synths, I have to know the truth about myself. They've told me to sail up north to a town called Far Harbor. I can make my way to them from there.
Have you finished your investigation? Did you find anything?
Your daughter made contact with a group of synths. She thinks she's one of them.
What? That's crazy.
She's not a synth. She's our daughter. We raised her. I gave birth to her. She's flesh and blood, not a synthetic.
It doesn't matter if your daughter is a synth, Mrs. Nakano. She's still a person who needs help.
But my daughter isn't a synth.
This is what I was afraid of. Someone twisting my daughter's mind. Did you find where Kasumi went, Detective?
I think Kasumi took off somewhere up north. Do you know what's up there?
Where specifically? I've been up the coast, almost to where the waters start to freeze, but that's a lot of miles.
I think I know where Kasumi went. A place called Far Harbor?
She went that far up north? God, that explains why she took the boat. You have to go after her. Please, take my other ship on the dock outside. My father's design. It has a guidance system, and it is built for distance.
What can I expect out there, Kenji?
I only made the trip to Far Harbor once, when I was a boy. All I remember is that my father did not want to stay long. Something about the air being bad.
I'll get to the bottom of this, Kenji.
Thank you. I know you haven't asked for a payment, and we can't offer much. But here, please take it. I insist. For expenses, if nothing else.
Mrs. Nakano.
My daughter is human. She's not a synth.
Well, and if she is a synth, I can imagine the same overbearing, suffocating, choking apron strings that you've been slowly killing your daughter with. Yeah, that probably wouldn't allow you to accept her, even being a synth. Strange, do synths actually grow? Do they age? Like everyone else? Like, would a child's frame extend and naturally fill in, increased height and weight of the body? I don't think so. I think if a child's replaced, that child will still be a child 100 years from now, right? Isn't that how that goes? I don't know. I'm not sure exactly how advanced synthetics are in the Fallout universe, but yeah, either way. It sounds like now that she's left home, she needs to go ahead and be her own person then. She went ahead and made that step. She needs to make the best of it. And that's how it goes. Not everyone leaves home with the well-wishing and the, and the loving send-off from the parents type of thing. Sometimes it's a little less personal than that. Sometimes it's a matter of running away in a sense, and that appears to be the case here. It is what it is. All right. One thing I want to do, I want to go let the railroad know what's going on here before we actually head out. So I'm going to call in the Vertibird. Quick service. All right, and I will meet you guys there. Thanks for watching. If you want to subscribe, and click that button up top. If you want to catch the rest of the Fallout 4 playthrough, click that image in the middle. It should send you straight to the playlist. Y'all take care. Bye-bye.